These days, it feels like every morning is a battle. My body is not entirely my own anymore. It's been invaded, conquered by this relentless sickness that strikes me each day. My name is Linda, and I am 40 years old. Thomas, my husband, he just doesn't get it. He's always been so wrapped up in his own world, his own ambitions. The concern I crave from him is nothing but a distant dream. But today, as the sun peeks through the curtains, casting a soft glow across the room, I find myself once again wrestling with the waves of nausea. Thomas, who is 42 years old, stumbles out of bed, barely sparing me a glance as he rushes to get ready for work. His suit is pressed, his tie impeccable, but his attention is elsewhere. Always elsewhere. I try to push through the discomfort, to summon the strength to face another day, but it's getting harder. Each wave of sickness feels like a tidal wave threatening to pull me under. And amidst it all, there's a tiny voice, a flicker of hope, reminding me of the life growing inside me. For that little one, I muster the strength to endure. As the days pass, the strain between Thomas and me reaches its breaking point. I'm not sure how much more I can take. Divorce whispers its tempting promises, but the thought of our unborn child stays my hand. His words cut deeper with each passing day, his indifference a bitter pill to swallow. I sit in the dimly lit kitchen, nursing a cup of tea that offers little solace. Thomas breezes in, briefcase in hand, and barely spares me a glance. His complaints about work fill the air, drowning out my silent pleas for understanding. But today is different. Today, the weight of it all becomes too much to bear. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine, that I'm fine. With a heavy heart, I entertain the thought of leaving, of starting anew. But then, like a beacon in the darkness, the thought of our child gives me pause. For their sake, I stay, clinging to the fragile hope that things will get better. Enter Melissa, Thomas's compassionate sister-in-law, a beacon of light in my darkest hour. She sweeps into my life like a breath of fresh air, offering comfort and support when I need it most. Melissa, who is 35 years old, sees past the facade I wear for the world, recognizing the pain that lies beneath. Her presence brings a glimmer of hope, a ray of sunshine in the storm. She helps with the groceries, lends a sympathetic ear, and offers words of encouragement when I feel like I'm drowning. In her, I find a kindred spirit, someone who understands the struggles I face. As we sit together in the quiet of my living room, sipping tea and sharing stories, I feel a weight lift from my shoulders. Melissa's compassion is a balm to my weary soul, soothing the ache that has settled deep within me. With her by my side, I find the strength to face another day, another wave of sickness. And for that, I am eternally grateful. The tension between Thomas and me reaches a boiling point, culminating in a shocking incident that shakes me to my core. His words are like daggers, each one slicing through the fragile threads of my resolve. He accuses me of exaggerating my sickness, of being lazy and incompetent. I try to defend myself, to make him understand the agony I endure each day, but he will not listen. In a moment of blind rage, he locks me in our bedroom, leaving me alone with my torment. Panic sets in as I realize the gravity of my situation. Trapped and helpless, I can do nothing but wait, the walls closing in around me. Hours pass like an eternity, each one stretching into infinity. I plead with Thomas to let me out, but my cries fall on deaf ears. And as the darkness descends, engulfing me in its suffocating embrace, I pray for deliverance from this nightmare. With Melissa's unwavering support, a plan begins to take shape, a plan to expose Thomas's cruelty and hold him accountable for his actions. Together, we set up cameras throughout the house, capturing his every move, his every cruel word. As we huddle over the screens, watching in silent horror as Thomas's true nature is laid bare, a sense of determination settles over me. No longer will I allow myself to be a victim of his abuse. No longer will I suffer in silence. With Melissa by my side, I find the strength to confront Thomas, to demand the justice I deserve. And as the truth comes to light, as the evidence against him mounts, Thomas is left with nowhere to hide. His facade crumbles, revealing the monster that lurks beneath. And as he is forced to face the consequences of his actions, I feel a sense of vindication wash over me. For the first time in a long time, I am free from his tyranny, from his cruelty. With Melissa's support, I take the first steps towards reclaiming my life, towards building a future filled with hope and possibility. And as the weight of his betrayal begins to lift from my shoulders, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the friend who stood by me when I needed her most, for the chance to start anew. Thomas returns home to a storm of accusations and undeniable evidence, his facade crumbling before our eyes. Melissa stands by my side as I confront him, her presence lending me the strength I need to stand tall in the face of his lies. But Thomas, who is 42 years old, refuses to admit defeat. He denies everything, hurling insults and accusations in a desperate attempt to save face. But the truth cannot be denied, not with the damning evidence we have gathered against him. As the weight of his betrayal hangs heavy in the air, Thomas is left with no choice but to face the consequences of his actions. With shaking hands, he signs the divorce papers, his signature a final act of surrender. And as he is escorted from the house, his arrogance replaced by a look of defeat, I feel a sense of liberation wash over me. No longer will I be shackled by his cruelty, by his neglect. I am free to chart my own course, to build a future filled with hope and possibility. With Melissa's support, I take the first steps towards reclaiming my life, towards building a future filled with hope and possibility. And as the weight of his betrayal begins to lift from my shoulders, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the friend who stood by me when I needed her most, for the chance to start anew. In the aftermath of Thomas's departure, I find myself surrounded by a newfound sense of freedom and possibility. With Melissa's unwavering support, I embark on the next chapter of my life, a chapter filled with hope and promise. As the days pass, I prepare for the arrival of my daughter, a beacon of light in the darkness. With each kick and flutter, she reminds me of the resilience of the human spirit, of the capacity for love to triumph over adversity. And when the day finally arrives, when I hold her in my arms for the first time, I am overwhelmed by a sense of joy unlike anything I have ever known. She is a miracle, a testament to the power of love to conquer even the darkest of days. Surrounded by the love and support of my family, I begin to heal from the wounds of the past. With Melissa by my side, I navigate the challenges of single motherhood with grace and determination, knowing that I am not alone in this journey. And as I watch my daughter grow, her laughter filling the air with joy, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the love that surrounds me, for the chance to start anew, for the opportunity to build a future filled with hope and possibility. As the days turn into weeks and weeks into months, I find myself immersed in the joyful chaos of motherhood. My daughter's laughter fills our home, a constant reminder of the love and support that surrounds us. With Melissa's continued support, I navigate the challenges of single parenthood with grace and determination. Together, we build a life filled with love and laughter, forging ahead with a newfound sense of purpose and strength. And as I watch my daughter grow, her smile lighting up the darkest of days, I am filled with a sense of gratitude for the love that surrounds us, for the chance to start anew, for the opportunity to build a future filled with hope and possibility. Though the road ahead may be long and uncertain, I know that with the support of my family and the love of my daughter, I can face whatever challenges come my way. And as I look towards the future, I do so with a heart full of hope, knowing that no matter what lies ahead, we will face it together as a family.